We have now a rather, I would say, unusual case. A case of a president of a good bank, successful bank, respected bank, maybe not right now very profitable, I'm not sure. But the president of that bank was on Maidan. You know, and if it was at least, say, just a Ukrainian bank, it would be fine. Well, in fact, it's an Austrian bank. It's a branch of it here in Ukraine, Raiffeisen, which, by the way, at least in Switzerland, grew like wildfire. Fantastic how people left UBS, etc., and joined Raiffeisen. But you know that because he's not only just the president here, he has a lot to do with Raiffeisen period. He was on Maidan. And, well, he happens to be also, he's very much in the culture, loves music. He's a composer. So it's also not a typical banker from that point of view. But the most important thing, he was on Maidan, he lived it. And also, let's say, what actually, no, that Maidan had an influence on how he is conducting his work now. And that's, again, the most important thing. It's not what you actually just profess or believe, it's what you do. So this is, let's say, a dramatic example of the power of the transformation that was generated by Maidan. Lavrenchuk, Volodymyr, Volodya, sure.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Volodymyr, for such kind of introduction. I would add that when the invitation came from you to speak on such an audience, I for sure agreed, but when the agenda came to me, I was puzzled what the banker can tell to the audience with such agenda on the new paradigm and how business leaders are impacted by the revolution of dignity and how business leaders could contribute to this paradigm change. First, I came to the question, who are business leaders? Who are them? In this business environment, in this changing environment where we know that many of, not majority, but many of business leaders left the country. Some of them are followed by criminal cases. Some of them dropped with their business in the East and in Crimea. So business leaders' composition is not fixed yet, and is being changed. Next, I came to the question, what is paradigm and what does it mean for the business community? And I found this, my revisit, or first visit to this agenda is very pragmatic. To my surprise, this is not a theoretic issue, the change of the community. It's a very pragmatic issue. Moreover, I discussed with my colleagues in the bank, as it's touchable to us. And I'd like to share with you three main statements, what is the outcome of my visit to this topic. But before I'm doing this, I will add to the introduction that my profession and the industry I work for more than 30 years is based on few main criteria, and this is safety, this is technology, this is predictability, and confidentiality. So the issue which we grew up on are based on many items, information we overview during daily operations. We have 2 million clients in our bank. We have 1 million payments every day. So it's so many to be pragmatically involved in a tactical overview, but not in a theoretical one or strategic one. Nevertheless, I come back to my first and important statement that this discussion, this debate is very pragmatic, and it creates a to-do list if we make the fair, true assessment where we are and we are going to. Okay, so the first thesis which I would like to share with you is the outcome confronted in today's morning session, that paradigm is a set of rules and laws which are based in what people believe. Gary, am I right with your statement? Yeah. So if people believe, they create certain set of rules and laws. Who is the driver? What is the driver? We live in an environment which I would like to confirm by my observation in daily, weekly, monthly, or everyday connections with a big number of business people. Yes, there's a big change and new beliefs are in place. And this is a direct impact of the revolution of dignity. I would name few. There is a zero tolerance in our community to any sign of corruption, privileges to certain families or certain companies, or unequal competition. There is no debate that it could be slightly smaller or slightly bigger, or we should cut it by 50%. There's a zero tolerance. I'm a member of many of councils, not many, but few councils of associations where such issue is not debated. This is in place. This is a very different statement we have compared with, let me say, 18 months ago, where there was a massive acceptance of these bad things. Now there is no acceptance, no anymore. It doesn't mean that there is no science, but reaction of public, reaction of community is strong argument to go ahead with this direction, and what to expect in changes, what to expect from the number of laws and regulations we have to set.
Maybe a bit closer to the microphone.
Okay.
More energy.
More energy to microphone or to my speech? Okay. Issue number 2, it comes from the first one, is who is the driver of the change? If paradigm is a certain number of rules and norms based on beliefs, beliefs are on place, there's a big number of initiatives to implement new regulation and laws in this country. We know the brand IMF, we know there's really many initiative teams that develop new regulations and laws, but my strong belief, and I'd like to confirm this during my speech and provide you a few numbers, that values produce much more than we could expect from laws and regulations. What people believe drives the process, not what people write in their regulation. Few cases from my experience in banking. You know, there is a low confidence for banking industry based on many, many reasons in our country. Not only in our country, but in our country especially. Meanwhile, there is a big outflow of deposits, but some banks lose money and lose clients. Some banks get money and get clients. What is the criteria, ask me? Interest rate? Profit? Loss? No, beliefs. People believe in this bank and people don't believe in this bank. And there is no formula or any financial criteria to stay behind. Take a look on balance sheets of the banks that lose depositors, and take a look and compare with other. You will not find a big difference. But massive behaviors of the market based on beliefs, and I confirm this, and not first time, I confirm in public that. Beliefs comes from long-term relations, from commitment and truth, and from responsibility that was mentioned. And if it's presented for a long period of time, the values creates the confidence, creates the business behaviors. And there is no other more important criteria of business culture. Take a look on other industries, what happens in our country. Metallurgy, agribusiness, so we have the trend and understanding that high concentration of business with the centers related to the president office or presidential office, to the decision making which make policy in this country is the ground of the success. Take a look on what happens now. People don't believe that that is our country. and take a look on the biggest losers. The biggest losers are those companies which are highly concentrated, because there is no confidence to that. And behaviors of their counterparties are different now to that. And that comes from many, many items which are followed by regulation, blacklist, reputation. But reputation is not material. Reputation becomes material because people believe that reputation is important. So I may provide you more in numbers how much capital is lost in the companies compared with the previous time when there were different values. Or let me say different beliefs. It's better to say in terms of practice. This is a second statement of mine, and it comes to those people who practically make business. So what we could expect from the market, or from what community could expect, if, and I say not if, but it is the place where beliefs are based on the issues I mentioned, there is no other scenario that implementation of reforms that make equal competition, that make opportunities for many, many, many companies, but not for selected families. And that's not the result of the laws. With all my respect to initiative teams that will speak today in the second session about number of laws and regulations to be implemented, this is a very important part of the process. But what I'd like to confirm here and share with you my statement, that it is very important for Ukraine, after a short period of time of the revolution of dignity, beliefs are in place.
Well, by the way, those that are very anxious to raise some questions, make comments, probably should line up closer here, and then you'll go to the microphone. Okay, shoot.
My name is Oksana, so I'm a young leader in action. So I would like to know, most of my friends, they're just moving to abroad for education and for living. Most of them staying there for living and working for the other countries. So my question is, what strategy we should to choose, and that should help us to involve and come to stimulate this youth coming back and work to Ukraine and for the future of the
Maybe I should make a slight correction. What you're talking about is a little bit more the past or what people wanted to do. But it is precisely in this kind of difficult period, let's say over 1,000 alumni of very good universities in different Western countries, United States, UK, etc., over 1,000 have returned to Ukraine simply, and they could have had a wonderful job over there because actually they were in the best schools and did very well there. Returned to Ukraine, why? Knowing they wouldn't get sort of sufficient jobs, enough money, but they wanted to return to Ukraine to do something for the country. Over 1,000. Now, there are associations of Harvard University graduates, association of London School graduates, etc. A number of associations, and there is an association of this association. And by the way, a list was provided to our government, the president and our government, of these over 1,000 people that actually offered to do something in the government, for the government, whatever, understanding that their pay would be absolutely minimum, probably couldn't survive on it, but they'd probably do something on the side, not by taking bribes, but actually by launching some companies, etc. So I just wanted to make a little correction, but maybe that's just my statistics, but Volodya?
I have 3 comments on your one question. The first one is I'm personally very positive if people travel for education to the best universities. I applaud to these people. This is great. That we need in the country. Second, if people travel to the good centers of education, they for sure will be educated that Ukraine is the best place for opportunity. And this is the truth. You will not you personally, they will not find many places in the world where there is opportunity for brave people, for enthusiastic people, not for average. because this number of tasks we have, that's not for average approach. That's for specific, dedicated to people who like to do more than something to change the world. And number 3, okay, life is not black and white, and conditions in Ukraine now is difficult, and I'm not a dreamer to say that there are no material motivation. And what we are doing is to make things happen in Ukraine and to make conditions better. I think this here is our responsibility here, to make the change today when this young generation is being trained. Thank you.
If you allow me also to tell some words on this issue, I will refer to my family history. I have 3 kids, already not kids, but nevertheless the youngest daughter graduated from the Kyiv University 1 year ago, but before that she also was in the Netherlands making her study during a couple of years there. After that, she was 1 year in one of the think tank in Madrid, and last year came back. And now he joined international humanitarian organization Save the Children, and practically speaking is all her time in the East helping Ukrainian kids. So it is the question of your choice. You can of course find something what is much more better abroad, but probably the idea is how we can help ourselves, how we can help our country. So it is the question not about the education, this is a question about what you have inside. Thank you.